You ready to rock and roll? Go live. All right. There you go. Casey, North Carolina, how you doing today?
Man, a lot better than you. It's 72 here in the Carolinas, so we're short sleeves and t-shirts, man. We're loving it.
Oh man, we had a quarter inch of freezing rain this morning. Playing the school cancellation game. Is it going to be canceled? Is it not going to be canceled? Bumper cars, bumper buses, the whole kind of just chaos here in Michigan.
Now we got house selling weather here, so yeah, I went to go celebrate my 8-year-old being named a terrific kid, and half the kid at the elementary school had shorts on. So yeah, North
Nice.
Carolina is upon us. House selling season is upon us, man. So we're loving it.
Awesome, man. So you guys are rocking, and you and I literally just met 10 minutes ago. We've heard each other's names. We've been following each other for a while. I probably followed you a lot more than you followed me, but I think you heard who I was, and I really
Absolutely.
appreciate you joining our little LO community, our network, our safe social space, if you will. We
Not
were
so little. Your 4,700 little community, first little community here. Yeah, that's
We're getting there. Yeah. And I don't know if you know what they update the Facebook rules for groups recently. So when you have a group of people aren't asking to join and they're not participating, they kind of automatically get kicked out. So I was looking at our analytics yesterday. We had 22,000 posts, interactions, and comments in the
wow,
last 30 days in MLO Network.
wow,
So,
love it.
people talking, asking questions, arguing, getting
Yeah.
along sometimes, sometimes not.
That's what we do, right? That's what we do.
Right.
Sounds like the mortgage space.
All the salespeople were all alphas, right? So, but I know that Spiro from the Philly market had prompted us to connect, and I knew there was a lot of things you could bring to the industry, and I've heard so many things about you. One thing that I knew before we even started the call was that you're a big fan of folks winning in general, and this is a great career. I think you just called it one of the best kept secrets in America, the loan officer job and the mortgage industry. It's just a great space to be in. You found it kind of like me as a second career, or in my case, third, fourth, fifth. I don't even know, but
Me too. Yeah.
I mean, nobody even knew who you were. I remember seeing your name for the first time 5 or 6 years ago. Who the heck is this company? And all of a sudden, you're a disruptor, you're changing the space, changing the rules of the game, and everybody seems to know who you are now. So not trying to just blow you up or anything like that, but let's talk a little bit about how you brought some of this to the industry, what your thought process was, and how that kind of thought process can be applied to LOs on a daily basis to keep moving forward. So I guess first things first. I didn't prep you for this. I just throw you lots of curveballs. Why did you start Movement Mortgage? Why did you become a mortgage industry player in the first place? And I know you told
Oh
the story
man.
before. I've seen it online, but
Oh gosh. Yeah. Well, I'll give you guys the consolidated version. But no, truly, in 2008, had been in real estate, and you know, my early professional life was defined by football. I played football. I had a college scholarship, and played a few years in the NFL. I was like absolutely no big deal, but that's how I was providing for my family. And once I got to do the Super Bowl, I mean, Spiro, being a Philly guy, always appreciates this. I tell him, man, I got to stand on stage with Bon Jovi and sing "It's My Life" holding the Lombardi Trophy. All right, and I had like nothing to do with the win, but I got to enjoy the benefit of being on a great team. And I did that, and on the plane ride home, I remember just kind of thinking to myself, man, like I'm 24, and if you had asked me at any point during my life, what do you want to do when you grow up, I would have said be an NFL football player and play in the Super Bowl. That was it. And I realized at 24 years old, man, I had accomplished everything I thought I'd ever wanted to do. And I kind of went, wow, man, what's this like? And I realized, man, that really my life from that point had really been defined by entertainment and kind of entertaining folks. I said, man, if I got the next 50, 60, 70 years to invest in a professional career, I want to do it in impacting lives in the deepest, most profound way possible that I can. And got into real estate. I said, I want to move out of entertainment and into real estate. Because I really, my football career was just no big deal, man. I was just kind of a backup. I was kind of supporting cast. They really didn't need another backup tight end in the NFL. There's plenty of other guys who are going to take my place. And I wanted to do something unique, kind of use the skills and opportunities I had to make my own mark. And in 2008, I saw that opportunity in the mortgage space. My partner, Toby Harris, we had a joint venture with National City Bank. And man, there was absolute crisis. It was a time not dissimilar in some ways from the last 12 months, where there was a lot of chaos, a lot of fear, a lot of
Wait a
consternation.
second. Were you at National City when they did the PNC transition thing?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we were both there at the same time.
We're brothers, Mad City brothers.
I know.
Yes.
Well, yeah, listen, you're sitting there next thing you know,
you.
it's going to take 90 to 120 days to close a refi. I'm like, what?
So yes, man, yes. So I mean, right. So you're living. So it's a 100-year-old bank, right? 7th largest lender in the U.S. gets taken down, and I live in Charlotte at the time. I'm watching Bank of America and Wachovia at the time teeter. I mean, Wachovia goes away. Bank of America is like on the brink. Warren Buffett comes out and says our country is on the brink. And in that moment, I kind of looked and went, there's so much fear. There's so much consternation. There's people have lost trust in financial services. People, and certainly if they think about financial services at a macro level, the heart of what they thought was wrong with financial services in America was the mortgage industry, right? Greed, deception, all the things that really were robbing from trust in America. I said, man, there's an opportunity here to step into this space. I fundamentally believe that Americans are going to continue to hold high the value of individual home ownership, that the federal government is going to support those rights, and that somebody is going to need to distribute these mortgages to Americans for them to be able to buy homes, because we're not doing it in cash. And fundamentally, when the economy goes into a recession, the federal government had stepped in and spurred the economy through the mortgage market. I said, man, and I think there's a lot of guys who will step into the opportunity right now in this kind of time of a little bit of turbulence in our industry to go, man, Warren Buffett's famous, right? You invest when there's blood in the streets. Well, I think when there's disruption, there's opportunity. Right, and we saw massive disruption in 2008 and massive opportunity to step into that and say, not only can we do better than 120-day closings, right? We can do better service-wise for the customers. We can treat them with dignity. We can treat them with respect. We can make sure they're getting a home of their dreams, not the debt of their nightmares. We can treat them like family. And we use the word love. We say, hey, what would it look like to love? And our operating definition is this. We say to love is to act in the long-term best interest of another. So if we're going to treat our borrowers like family, like you want your little sister, my little sister to be treated, what does that look like? And then we said, once we've taken really good care of our borrowers, man, what does it look like to love one another, to treat one another well? Because you remember, man, the banks were not a wonderful place to work in 07, 08, 09. I mean, these are some toxic environments, and unfortunately, for some of the biggest ones, you're still seeing those fines and those toxic cultures spill out into the newspapers from really bad practices that were detrimental to the American public and robbed from the trust, kind of the emotional bank account Americans have with their financial service institutions. And we went, man, there's an opportunity to do this better. Like, life doesn't have to suck. I don't have to hate going to work. I could do it. Man, I actually love the people I'm working with and feel like they're pulling me in a better direction in life as well. And we're having these careers that mean something to us. We're serving people well. We're loving each other, man. We're caring for ourselves personally. And if we have success with all that, finally, there's an opportunity to love our communities, to pour back into them so that, communities aren't looking at banks and mortgage companies as having taken from them. So many neighborhoods around America were foreclosed on. They looked at the mortgage banks as the culprit of that, the reason their home values had tanked because they had given loans to folks that never should have gotten them. They got foreclosed on and depressed property values. And what if we could be seen as a financial services company as people that are actually loving marginalized people in our communities, that are pouring back into reinvesting in our communities, making them stronger, right? Investing in people that can do nothing for us from a business standpoint, financially, maybe even the homeless that don't even have a house. But we're known for love and marginalized, not from taking from the communities, but giving back to them. So we saw that opportunity in 2008, man, and we were crazy enough to kind of go headlong into it and play offense, kind of like we were talking about, step into an opportunity despite a lot of scary things were going on. At the time it was like, hey, no private mortgage bank will ever survive. The banks are the only things that are going to be left. People were telling you all these narratives of what would happen and why, it wouldn't work. And we just, fundamentally believe, man, you do the right thing, you serve people well, you provide value to their life, and there's going to be a place for you in the market.
I love it. You brought up something that I had made myself a note to ask you about, and I didn't tell you that when we were prepping for the call. But you mentioned giving back to the communities, and I watched you get really involved with that and many of the initiatives that your company does. How do you bring that into the culture without I guess being cheesy? You're authentic. People want to get involved. They want to give back, but it's not like we have to do this community service because it's part of the part of our job. And like your loan officers love what you're doing as a company, and they're talking about it on social media. Whenever they talk to me, that's one of the first things that comes out of their mouth. And I don't know how you brought that to the culture in such a way. I mean, is it the hiring? Is it once they get there, they take part in it? I mean, there's just such participation.
I don't think so, Michael. I think, man, look, I really believe every single one of us. This is a human being thing. This isn't a personality type or Ella. This is a human being. I think every single one of us would say, man, I want to be a part of a community that cares about me and that I care about. Really, just take it to the family level. Like, man, I want to be a part of a family that cares about me. That man, if and when my life falls into a ditch, because they all do, right? Somebody's going to be there to pick me back up. Right? They're going to care enough about me to kind of pick me back up. And so, we invite people into that story inside a movement, inside of our community, and we just say, hey, look, this is who we are. Like, we believe in loving people. We believe in caring about folks in our community that are down on luck, that are being marginalized. And man, it's never coerced. We don't make anyone do it. We just invite people into that. And I think they find like, this is just kind of intrinsically good and right. I want to be a part of a community that says and takes a stance, says, yeah, man, we're going to love the folks in our community that can do nothing for us. And then, by the way, when I'm in a tough situation, man, I hope I'm surrounded by a group of men and women that are going to care about me. And that can look, that doesn't always look like a financial donation. Sometimes that's just, taking somebody out to lunch and encouraging them, man, just caring enough to sit and listen. But I think that's what we're looking for in life, in community and life, and people we do life with. And I think it's life-giving. You give when you receive, I think, when you give. And so that's just something that becomes intrinsic to who we are.
But one thing I always find us talking about in the other LO chat rooms and some of the programs that I'm in, we want to give back, but it's kind of like that analogy of if someone's drowning, they can't help anybody else. I mean, if you're drowning and your buddy's drowning, you can't help your buddy. Right. So your company had to be in a position to have those funds, to make those investments. And I mean, you can want to give back all day long. I talked to loan officers about our military works boot camp program. They want to give back. They want to help the vets. But then I'm sitting there looking at them going, okay, guys, you can give back, but you're going to have to start closing more than 1 or 2 units a month before you can actually make a difference in the world. You're going to have to serve more than 1 or 2 veterans, and you're going to have some kind of business in place before you can start, running these organizations and donating. I mean, you're going to be donating $50. You're donating 3 or 4 hours, and that's good and that's noble. But if you built a very, very thriving business that had more resources and had the ability to use some of those funds to motivate more people to your mission or cause, you do a little bit more with it. So that's kind of where I jump into this, watching what you guys have done in such a short time frame. And I mean, I wonder what led you to this, 6-hour process and the 7-hour process, and some of the things that you're doing now. I mean, is it tech? Is it people? Is it what goes into building something like this, and maybe what is it going to look like in the future?
Yeah, that's a great question. So earlier you heard me use the word love, right? I said, hey, our mission statement, we exist to love and value people. And again, we operationalize that word. We don't mean it emotionally. We mean love as a verb. And to love is to act in the long-term best interest of another. And so we'll talk about when we're going to go serve a borrower, we treat them like family. And my little sister has done 2 loans with Movement Mortgage. And if I think about the process and experience that I want my little sister to have, I need to apply that to every customer that we're going to come in contact with. Because every single customer we have is someone's daughter, someone's son, someone's brother, sister. So when we start with that kind of high level, that being the North Star of we need to put a best-in-class process that I want my own family to experience, that then encompasses people and process and tech and everything else to make the best-in-class process. They're not bifurcated. It's not tech or people or process. It's the combination of cutting, world-class technology, right? You got to have it, and I believe you got to be partnered with the best tech builders in the world. Nima, I'm sorry, actually just texted me up on the corner of my screen, the founder of Blend, right? I mean, this guy's built one of the most unbelievable teams in all of financial services, frankly, right? That's our partner on our front end app. We think they built the best one in the space. And Nima knows, man, if somebody jumps up in 3 years and builds something totally better, hey, that's going to be our front end because we believe in being buyers, not builders of tech. And I think the best builders are actually external to any company in the mortgage space. Then you got to combine that, though, with fantastic processes, because great tech without great processes behind them are really useless. And people, like anyone in the industry, can use Blend. We have a way better adoption rate, 10 times better adoption rate than most of their customers because of the processes we put behind that great technology. And finally, you have to have fantastic people married with those processes that make it effective. This is still a people business. This is still, a human being sitting down across from another human being, talking to them about the largest debt that'll be on their balance sheet and the largest asset they'll probably ever have. The single largest determinant of that family's financial success is that home and the way they structure the debt for that home. And that is something that people still want over and over again. We see to have a human being talk them through, and they should. They should. So marrying all three of those together to put a best-in-class process together is really our North Star. Treat them like family. And you mentioned our 671 process. We do. We underwrite all of our loans up front. Why? Because if you were coming to Michael and said, hey, I want to go get a loan, the first thing we do is go, great, we're going to take a really complete application. By the way, you can do it in your pajamas, right, through our digital portal here. You can digitally connect all your assets, whatnot. We're going to have a fully delegated underwriter approve your file up front so that you know how much you're qualified for before you ever start shopping. We think, we agree with the CFPB, right? You should know before you owe. We're going to know before you owe, way before it's cool. So we want to underwrite your loan up front and let you know, any conditions you're going to have. And then we fundamentally believe, there is no reason not to process that loan in 7 business days. There's just no reason. And so when Dodd-Frank came out saying that, hey, the fastest we could close a loan was, on the 8th day after application, we went, that should not be an exception. That shouldn't be like, kind of, oh man, it's a rush and we got to get this one done. So that should just be the rule. Let's get every loan. Let's build a system that gets every loan done by the 7th business day so that, man, whether you're closing on the 8th business day or the 80th, you can have peace of mind. So we had 83% of our loans last year were processed in 7 business days. Right now, we're averaging about 5.8 hours on our upfront underwrite, and all of that is done because we think it's the right way to serve our home buyers.
I like it. It's good stuff. And I know many folks that have heard the story and have heard you talk about how you built it, but I think just understanding that you got to put all the parts together, the people and the tech, and it wasn't just an app, it wasn't just Blend, it wasn't just a new training program. To me, that's eye-opening. I know we got a lot of questions. We'll zip over the questions in a couple minutes. I got a couple more things that I want to make sure we get to. One of them is what you just mentioned, the people. You've done a great job of bringing folks from all walks of life into your company with lots of experience, less experience, and kind of homogenize them. Let's talk a little bit about both the LOs that are already set in their ways and the LOs that are brand new. How do you jump in and bring out the best in them? I mean, I know you got Tim Davis. That's some secret sauce right there.
Yeah, man.
It's more than just that. I mean, folks tend to come into your company, and next thing you know, they're new and they're succeeding, or they're older and they're hitting their best numbers ever. How do you get that out of your people? What's the secret?
No, okay, sorry. So I'm gonna start way back at the beginning. We say, hey, we exist to love and value people, and to love, we're gonna say we're gonna act in these folks' long-term best interests. And that way, it's different for different folks, right? It was really neat. We had that really exciting Eagle acquisition a few weeks ago. We were able to purchase Lennar's retail division, about $1.5 billion of production.
Ryan's watching us, by the way. Ryan Stacy's. He's all for it.
Oh, man, yeah. I mean, some amazing folks out there, right? And so we got to fly out to the Pacific Northwest. I got to meet some new team members. Well, we went to one branch in particular, and, it's kind of social media for our company is just kind of like who we are. We're all kind of on Facebook and Insta and LinkedIn and everything else. And went out to this branch, and it was some older originators. And we said, so how many of you guys are active on social for your business, right, at Facebook? And, like, 2 people raised their hand, like 30. And I said, all right, let me back up. How many of you have a Facebook page? And like only half the room raised their hand. And man, there was all this fear and consternation. A couple people pulled me aside, like, I don't know if I can do this Facebook thing and whatnot. And so what we did was say, hey, listen, we're not going to try to drag you to where, some of our 28-year-old originators, they're doing 20 loans a month off of, social are. But here, let me give you this tool. I want to give you something. I want to act in your long-term best interest. Facebook is the greatest CRM ever developed. We have M3 with Total Expert. It's great. It's awesome. There has never been a CRM more powerful than Facebook for the loan officer, okay? And just that big old F on it stands for free, right? Just it is the greatest free CRM ever developed. So I want you to do one thing. We're going to show you how to create a page. And by the way, you're really going to benefit from this because you're going to see your grandkids. You're going to see your friends and family. It's going to be so cool. You're going to love this. And I want you to do one thing. Just tag your borrowers at closing and congratulate them on the home they just purchased and your realtors. That's it. So the next month you have 10 closings. I just want you to just tag them, either at the closing or just at some point during the month, congratulate them for the new home that they're buying. And what's going to happen next? Because a lot of these folks are database marketers, right? You're probably a database marketer. We've all kind of grown up in that, and that's a ton of buy referral only stuff. We go, the holy grail of database marketing isn't your database. Right? It's not the 500 people that know, trust, and like you. It's the 500 people that the 500 people that know, trust, and like you know. Facebook is the greatest mechanism ever to reach that second sphere of database. And you know, so what we'll do is with somebody that's brand new social, just give them the most simple, basic, singular kind of activity they can do that's going to result in the highest impact for their business, right? Show them that. And then for our young millennials that are man, they're like, they don't remember a time. I mean, they think Facebook's passé, right? They're coming up with some stuff. We're going to kind of talk with them and put them in masterminds where they're really teaching each other. Because frankly, you know, Michael, look, I'm learning something new every day. This space is evolving so fast, and there are amazing. I mean, it's what you're seeing, I'm sure, in your community where guys are sharing strategies, sharing tips. Hey, what's working for you in Houston, Texas? It's different than what Seattle, Washington. Maybe you cross-pollinate ideas, and the whole space is evolving, you know, monthly. And so we'll have mastermind groups where everyone kind of trains one another on what's hot. And you know, we just really foster a spirit of collaboration and teamwork in the company. We compete like crazy with one another, but mostly we compete externally, right? And so we work really hard, man, to foster that spirit of teamwork and collaboration internally at Movement.
Love it, man. Now, I got a lot of people that had messaged me prior to the call, you know, saying, hey, make sure you ask him this, make sure you ask him that. And I'm sure some of these questions that you answer on a daily basis, one of the questions I get all the time, it just relates to that, you know, that Keller Mortgage and the MSA and some of the things that your company has done to build good relationships. And how do you see the MSA role in the future? Do you think it's going to diminish? It's going to change? I mean, are there things that you think we should do as loan officers to stay involved with that, or should we just run away from it?
No, well, all right. Let's back up a little bit. Keller Mortgage. Here's a macro trend in our space, right? Macro trend in our space. One-stop shop, right? That's a macro trend. By the way, that's been a macro trend in our space since you and I got into business, since for a decade. Whether you're talking about Long and Foster, Prosperity. I mean, goodness gracious, we just bought Eagle, the retail arm of Lennar. One-stop shop experience is what consumers have been asking for since I got in this thing over a decade ago, right? It's still what they're asking for today. It's what I want. When I go to buy a house, I want a one-stop shop experience. So, you know, whether it's Zillow putting together a mortgage space, whether it's Open Door working on a mortgage space, whether it's Compass spinning up, I mean, Remax, doing a mortgage offering, Keller Mortgage, everyone is thinking about, hey, how do I bring all the services necessary to purchase a home into one place? And really, the holy grail of this is the one-click home purchase experience, right? That is what the whole industry is driving toward, a one-click home purchase experience. The Amazon effect has taken hold. There's no doubt about it. That's where things are going. There's about 1.4 million realtors, right, in the United States. We think a really good place to align your business is with the place that millennials and all generations actually are saying it's still their first shop. Now they're going online to look at homes, to shop for homes, to get pictures of homes, and then they are overwhelmingly, millennials actually at a higher rate than previous generations are calling a realtor to help them with the consummation of that purchase. So what we believe is, you better be aligning your services into a one-stop shop experience with highly professional realtor partners. And that's really what we're about. When we go into relationships, we have over 500 in-house relationships around the United States. We have the top performing realtor teams and offices around the U.S. because we know the consumers have said, I want a one-stop shop experience. I don't want to go over here for my real estate agent, over to Quicken for my mortgage, over to Allstate for my insurance, over here for my title insurance, and this is my attorney. I mean, that's a lot to quarterback. You better make this easy, seamless, and package it up for the consumer. And, our perspective is, we don't own a real estate company. We don't own a builder company. So what we want to do is, package that experience up with our realtor partners across the United States as seamlessly as possible for the consumer to really help them, our realtors, do more business.
So you don't see Movement running to the consumer direct space and trying to compete with Quicken and going down that model at all?
No, actually, I'd probably say I'd see Quicken and Zillow and these guys actually trying to push in the realtor space. Right, like all these other guys are actually, if you're just a lender, what they're trying to do is think through, like Quicken's trying to, hey, I'm going to go push a whole bunch of leads back to realtors, right? And there's this disconnect. These guys are like, no, I wanted to look at a home. I didn't really want to talk about my credit yet. Like, I'm not even sure if I'm going to move. I'm not even sure if I like that bathroom. I'm not even sure. I didn't want to, spend a whole bunch of time giving you all my personal financial information before I'm even deciding whether or not I want to actually go, and buy a home. So we're not going to go crazy down that consumer direct trying to fish way upstream in that regard. We're going to kind of stick with our realtor partners and say, we're going to support you in your business because people typically want to talk to that realtor first and then get introduced to the mortgage person. And then we're going to tell them, hey, before you start shopping, before you start making offers, yes, you better get qualified. We just think they want to spend some time shopping before they give somebody all their credit file information.
Awesome, man. I got one big kind of major question here for you. And as I ask it, I'm thinking about something I watched in the National Real Estate Post. Brian this morning from yesterday's show was talking about, how some companies think they can run into the future by analyzing their budget and cutting pennies and chopping the dollars down and maybe selling a cheaper product. And then next thing they know, they're out of business. And I know when we started this call, you talked about like offense versus defense versus staying ahead of the trends and not necessarily just kind of backing up and trying to prepare for every possible thing that can happen.
Yep.
We talked about this as well. I mean, we watch these social channels, and a lot of LOs have seen the broker channel grow a little bit. They've seen some of these margins tighten up. They know that the movement's perhaps a little bit higher cost than some of those channels. What do you think about all this? I mean, is Movement considering entering that space? Do you think this is a real discussion? Do you think LOs should get better at playing offense? I mean, where does the Movement LO fit into this part of the discussion? Again, it's like 10 questions at one, but you can go any direction that you want with it. Any direction you want.
No, it's good, man. So I had a talk, with our company. We made cuts this year to really lean out our operations because we had about 18% of the top line margin in our industry go away in about 90 days last year. That's major for an industry. I mean, that's major. That's when people talk about, hey, all the margin was taken out of business. A lot of businesses run on 15 to 20% profit margins, right? And that essentially evaporates for that top line. So we says, hey, we have to go reclaim that profit margin. And I think whether you're talking about an LO level or a company level, you better have been in that process in 2018 of leaning out everything that wasn't critical and necessary to your business so that you can go to market as lean and efficiently as possible, because a lot of those big margins had been taken out of the business. So we spent the time to do that. And then, I think we can press into 2019 because we did those things. You're able to go play offense in 2019. You're able to take advantage of market share. You're able to pick up things that if you didn't make those hard decisions in your business, you're not able to do right now because you're still just trying to figure out how to make a dollar. You're trying to keep your head above water. And that's a tough place to be. That's somewhere we didn't want to be. So we made some really proactive decisions about our business, how we were going to organize it, how we were going to run it, so that we could play really focused offense and not be trying to play defense, defending 50 different things all last year, just hoping that margins return. I don't think hope's a strategy that I would hang my career on, right? Like I want to have a definitive business plan that really ensures success in a current state market, even one maybe that contracts a little bit. So that's the exercise we went through macroly. That's the same exercise I'm encouraging loan officers to go through on their personal businesses. Even with spends on marketing dollars. There was a time in that, hey, I can dabble in Zillow, I can buy leads from this loan firm, I can do Boomtown, I can do partners with. You better be very, very precise in the way you spend your marketing dollars today in order to make sure you're running a profitable business, right? You have to be lean on your rate, you have to be lean on your cost, and you better be really lean and prescriptive on how you're spending every single dollar, from office space to assistants to your marketing budget. And those that are, that's the great thing about a free market society, right? I'm a huge free markets guy. I believe in it. When markets shift downwards, it separates the wheat from the chaff. It separates those who are great at running a business and those who aren't. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing, right? Because the consumer benefits from that. Because those who are sloppy, those who are not disciplined, those who are not aggressive about running their business really, really well aren't surviving and aren't going to be there. And so my advice to other company owners, to loan officers, whoever, is you will actually have the opportunity to pick up more market share than you probably have in a decade during the last 12 months and the next 12 to 24 months. You'll have an unbelievable opportunity to pick up great market share in your markets. If you really dig into your business, make sure you're defining it well, go pick up realtors like crazy, because people right now are just trying to hang on. I mean, if you organize your business to win, to stay profitable, you'll be able to kind of step forward into that, gaining market share. And as that purchase market ticks back up, swings back up, the realtors that were doing 1-2 deals a month start doing 3-4 deals a month again, man, you're going to benefit about it. Gary Keller wrote an amazing book called The Shift. Recommend to any LO on the call right now. It's for realtors, really, but it applies to our business as well. If you're a purchase-centric loan officer, this is your business. And he talks about the market shifts. And you don't gain market share when the market's screaming, right? Because every idiot's piling into our business. I mean, they're all coming in from all over the place, bombing in. when you gain market share is down there in the trough, when everyone's jettisoning out and the strong are surviving. They've organized their business well. They take crazy market share, and then the market picks back up. And man, when it picks back up, you just really reap the rewards of all the hard work done during the more difficult times.
Awesome.
And listen, I think that applies if you're a broker, banker, you work for Wells Fargo. It really doesn't matter. I think the economics of delivering a loan are the same. I mean, the broker channel has grown, done well. Matt Ishby is a buddy of mine. I really enjoy him. I love him. I have a huge amount of respect for what they've done. I think it's great. I think it's really good to provide that channel. It costs the same. Like you still have to underwrite, process, close, ship a loan. Like all the same features and functions have to happen in any channel. It kind of depends on just how you want to organize and run your business as an originator. And I think there's places for just about everybody in the spectrum. Folks that really want to sign a lease themselves and rent their own office space and really run their own business and have a really good robust origination platform and hire some folks that they maybe want to be brokers. Like that might be something they want to do. Folks say, I really want to focus on origination and I want to have a great operations team that I know that works in-house with me, that has my marketing, everything all kind of set up, packaged up for me. They might want to be mortgage bankers. And there's other folks who are going to go, I really just want to work in a bank and get a lot of in-house referrals and make, 60 basis points. And that's the kind of life I want to lead. And that works for me. Great. That's good for them, man. The cool thing about our industry is a massive space. It's massive. I mean, it is absolutely. Biggest player has 5% market share. That's insane. Like you look a lot like how like economies and sectors in our economy, it's crazy that the biggest player in the mortgage space has 5% market share. And that's a highly fragmented, massive space with lots of opportunity for all of us.
I love it, and that's the direction we try to go in MLO Net. I mean, let's help people find the right space for them, and some models might be growing faster, some models might be shrinking a little bit, but ultimately the LOs that see the opportunity, that pay attention to what tools they need to do and where they need to be with their value propositions are the ones that are going to take advantage, and I believe firmly they're going to gain market share. So, yep. All right. I guess I'm going to ask you, this is the toughest question. We ask this on almost every hangout, okay? I pull you out of Movement Mortgage and you got to start a brand new mortgage company. Let's just say it's on the West Coast. Okay. It's not North Carolina. You go to San Francisco. But are you going to kind of operate the same or would you do a few things slightly different if we put you in a different market tomorrow?
San Francisco, I'd walk down the street to my buddy Nima's house, or go to the Blend office, and yeah, I'd make him give me an app for free because I said, hey, we help take you guys to market. No, man, no massive change. I think I really like where movement is. I like where we're positioned. Frankly, I would go in, I'd find the biggest real estate agents in that market in San Francisco. I would become their best friends. I'd tell them I work for you. I'm going to help you double, triple your business because the way I'm going to care for your clients, the way I'm going to help co-market our services to people that are going to buy homes, because I know that 80% of people that are going to buy a home for you are going to need a mortgage. And I know that I'm probably the most critical part of the transaction in terms of being screwing something up. So I'm going to go to work for you and I'm going to help you grow your business by marketing to these same customers that we're both going after together. And I'm going to give you world-class service. And then once I've done that for a while, I say, hey, here's the great thing about you is that every other great realtor in town knows who you are because you do cross sells with them and they all respect you. Would you refer me to one of somebody else in town, or I'd be working with a cross sell agent who's the listing agent on the deal, and we grow. We had 4 employees in 2008, and we believed in working by referral. We never had a marketing campaign. We never spent $1 on marketing. We've grown to about 4,000 employees now. Doing about 1 of every 75 home purchases in the U.S. And it's been one realtor, one transaction at a time. Really working to love them, serve them well, and then get referrals to their friends and family who need similar service. I mean, it has been an absolute joy. I've done a whole other talk about, the joys in the journey. The joys in the journey. It's not a destination. I'd encourage any LO watching this, man, whether you're doing $5 million a year, $50 million a year, $500 million a year, there's no number, right, that you're going to get to where you go, wow, I'm done. This is great. That's kind of what I learned when I got that Super Bowl ring was, man, it's not about the ring. Right, it's not about the destination. There's not a number you're going to hit, 100 million in a year, or 200 million in a year of production. There's not a number that's going to satisfy you. Man, the joy in life, the joy in this thing is in the journey of it. It's the people you're with. So I'd look to align with and go into business with people I loved, I cared about, that I believed in, I thought believed in me, and then go have a lot of fun, man, serving people as effectively as we can in that San Francisco market that you mentioned.
Tough question. I know. A huge compliment to you and your crew. I've noticed over the last few years, just interacting with the movement folks online, that the movement loan officers and coaches have been very open-minded, very abundant-minded, very giving. Tim Davis had just offered to speak at our Orlando event. I don't think he can make it, but again, just looking to do whatever they can to move the position of the LO forward in the industry and truly help the home ownership in America in the right way, in a way that, like you said, is giving back.
We can all be proud of, right? Yeah, we are all going to reflect on each other, man. We're all going to reflect on each other.
Yeah,
I'm a huge fan of this industry and a huge fan of the LOs. I do think it's one of the best kept secrets in America. And look, my email is really easy. It's casey@movement.com. If there's anybody watching here that has questions, tips, anything we can help you guys with, man, feel free to reach out, because I do, man. I believe in this industry. I believe in the folks that are in it. And I think we have a really great story to tell. I think it needs to be told in America, because we're still rebuilding a lot of trust out there. And that needs to be done. That's important, I think, for our country to have confidence in the financial service providers and the people that are holding our money.
I love it, man. Last question. This is for my buddy Alex. He always sneaks stuff in. If you had to pick one book that had the largest impact on your career that you would tell other loan officers to read, perhaps, you got a book to throw out for us?
Hey, I do, man. Look, so I've been a follower of Jesus my whole life. I read the Bible. I think it has some of the best life lessons in it. That my line of, hey, loving people was, Jesus saying, hey, the most important line in all Scripture is love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. And we try to anchor around loving your neighbor as yourself, man. So I start every morning reading the Bible, and that is, that's kind of where I go to every day. There's lots of other great authors, Maxwell and everybody else, man, that I'm digging into also. But that's my go-to every day.
There you go, Alex, in Nashville, Franklin area. Boom.
There you go, Alex. That's good.
All right. Well, if you have anything else for the LO community, now's the time. Otherwise, we appreciate you. We know how busy you are and building your culture and your team. We appreciate you. I have lots of private messages thanking you for coming out and sharing with us. We had about 45, 50 folks watching at one point here, and we really appreciate you.
Yeah, man. No, last thing I'd say, man, you guys watching, just an encouragement. Go out and play offense. There are so many things. I get so tired of seeing some of the news, particularly internal industry news. I think it's trying to it just kind of sows seeds of fear into people's business and career. Oh no, what's Quicken going to do? Oh no, am I going to get digitized out of space? Oh my goodness, Zillow going to buy everything. There's so many things to worry about, guys. It's been the same thing for a decade. Okay, I can take you back to 2008, and then I can tell you the other 10 theories why movement was going to fail, or we weren't going to have a career, we were going to be gone 6 months. Don't focus on that. Spend your time focusing on what you do well, on the value you bring your realtors, your customers, knowing that you will have opportunity to evolve, okay? No one is going to own all the technology in this space. There's more dollars pouring into external companies that want to provide broad solutions to the entire industry than there are to any one company like Zillow or somebody. By the way, I know about the back end of a lot of these companies, and they're using the same tech that we all are, okay? So don't be afraid, man. Step forward in confidence, with hope, man, just working each day to provide more value to your customers, your realtor partners, and I know that you're going to be able to evolve. You're going to be able to evolve. This industry is going to change a whole lot in 5 years. So will you. Just stay kind of leaning forward to that posture, bring value, and stay nimble.
Awesome, man.
Be encouraged, guys.
We'll let you get back. You got Casey's email if you need him. Thanks for your time. Hopefully I get a chance to meet you soon. I'm going to go out of my way to figure out where you are and fly there and hopefully meet you in person sometime.
Oh, man, you're welcome anytime, man. Come down to Indian South Carolina, right outside Charlotte, man. We got a beautiful headquarters and, yeah, a lot of fun stuff, man. We got a great school down there and a community center. I would love to tour you through, Michael. Come on down anytime, man.
I appreciate it, man. It's going on my calendar, my bucket list, and we'll find a way to make it happen.
Do it, man. Do it. Bring Spiro.
All right. I'm going to hit it. Thank you again. Have a great one.